Hi everybody, it's your friendly neighborhood hanger hobbit here, and welcome to part 2 of my buying guide, this time on the Germans and the Brits. And let's just jump right on in, because frankly there ain't anything tier 1 the Germans you're going to want. So let's start with the German Welly. No, oh lord no, this thing is a flying gas can, doesn't have enough bombs to make it worth taking even in ground forces, doesn't even get the cookie like the regular Welly does. No, back in the day, this thing was a good little low-tier grinder, but nowadays, no, this thing is just another one of those low-tier, really crappy flying gas cans. Yeah, this is not a good bird. Oh, this one. Back in the day, this would have been a solid buy, but guess what? The return of the turdies. Yeah. So my recommendation on any of the Russian birds in the German tree, go fly the one in the Russian tree first and see how your ping handles it. Because I've found that these guns are very ping sensitive. And if your ping's just a little bit too high, you're throwing borscht, buddy. And nothing will frustrate you more than to get that perfect deflection shot only to get worthless hit, and then they just fly away or turn around and shoot you in the butt. But this, oh yes, say hello to Herman the German IL-2. Oh, I love trolling in this thing. This is strictly for you guys that like to troll the low. That 23 millimeter will kill at up to 1.6 kilometers, and there's nothing funnier than just blowing guys out of the sky with an IL-2. I find it hilarious. Yeah, doesn't get the rockets like the regular IL-2, but yeah, like I said, this is not for ground attack. This is for trolling. And for trolling, if you like to troll, yes, Herman the German IL-2 is a good little troll bird. You just have to fly it like a heavy fighter. But if you want a bomber, oh good lord. Say hello to the TU-4 of Tier 2, the BV-238. Capable of taking out nearly 3 bases all by itself, and with so much DACA on it, it makes players cry. Good lord, if you want to be a troll, this thing is a flying frickin' battleship. Jesus, this thing can put out the DACA. Just make sure you got your crew set up good. You want them maxed out on that reload rate, and you definitely want your convergence set to about 800 meters so you can really reach out there and touch them with that 13 millimeter. You do that, and good lord, can you troll in this thing. I have actually won matches just by flying low, getting stupid enemies to come after me, and then just cutting them in half with this thing. Jesus, the firepower on this thing is better than a B-17. And it's a Tier 2, 3.3. Good Lord, guys. And I don't know what you were drinking when you put it at this BR, but this is nuts. This is completely redonkulous. Now, I got asked about the German LaLa. I'm going to say the same thing as with the German Yak Attack. Take out the LaLa in the Russian tree and see how it reacts to your ping. Because if you've got a super low ping, then hey, these are great little birds. If your ping is just a hair too high, good lord, the frustration. Look at that. FIT. All a bunch of FITs. Nothing will irritate you more than killing yourself to get that perfect shot, only to go wah, wah, and get that little Dita squeak when the freaking gun don't do diddle dang squat. Man, that is so frustrating. So don't buy this till you've flown the one in the Russian tree and seen how your ping reacts to these birds. If it was the old days when it was all HEF, yes. Now, check your ping, buddy. But let's go ahead and look at something that doesn't count on ping. Oh, yes. It gets an interceptor spawn. It's got a crap ton of 151, and it's got 200 rounds of 30 millimeter on top. Oh, yes. You like your good heavy fighter? Here you go. I mean, look at this bad boy. See where those guns are? Makes it easy to aim. This thing murders the freaking bombers. It murders the P-61s. The only thing you got to remember is, like Orange Doom used to say about the 30 millimeters, when it comes to the 30s, no matter how far you think you should lead more, because these things got a bad drop. And here we have the Hitler bolts. I still love this bird. I know that since it's lost its air spawn, it's not as good as it was. 3.7, it was a holy terror. But even at 4.3 and even without its air spawn, with all those 109s and G55S's backing it up, it can still be a low monster. You're just going to have to accept that you're only going to get about 4K on your altitude max, but then you just go down and start feasting. Let the G55s and the 109s drag them down, and then you munchy. Because you got 3,400 rounds and 30 minutes. I think it starts with 30 minutes of gas. It's either 25 or 30 minutes. So when everybody else has to go back to base, you still got plenty of gas. You can hang around and clean up. So, yeah, this is not a bad bird. Now, I got asked about buying a Tier 4. Honestly, there isn't any of the Tier 4s that really impress me. If I had to buy a Tier 4 premium for Germany, it would probably be this right here. It's got plenty of 151s, plus it's got 4 30 millimeter cannons. So this is a good little troll bird. I don't have it personally, but I've seen guys just murder with this thing. This is especially good if you're in squads or if you want to do some ground forces, because you can put the armor piercing on those 30s and just schnocker people. But yeah, that is probably what I would get. But if you want to get grind out all the way to jets, I would probably put a talisman on something. Like maybe this bird right here, the K4. Oh yes, this is a great bird. I would say definitely either whack a talisman on this one or the G14. Personally, I like the G14 a little bit better simply because it starts with the 20 mil instead of the 30. Or here's this one that I've been having surprisingly good luck with. I've only flown it out twice. I got 2 kills the first match and I think 4 in the second. It gets an interceptor spawn. It's a 152C3. Gets plenty of 20 millimeter, and look where that 30 is. Dead center in the snoot. Makes it a whole heck of a lot easier to aim, boys and girls. And you can pop the flaps at 600 kilometers an hour like you can with the other 190. So, yeah, this thing, you can make it turn a lot faster than it should in real life. But, hey, as long as that bug's in there, I'm going to exploit it, because why the heck not? Heck yeah, gotta love those little bugs like that actually give the player an advantage instead of just making the game suck. Yes. So don't be afraid to pop your flaps on one of these. It's definitely good for that and can kick some butts. Now let's get over to the Brits. And I know there's so many biplanes better than this, but with it on sale, it's going to be cheap. And if you want a low tier to have some fun, I think this thing is just a little blast. It's got flaps, so this thing can outturn just about every other biplane out there. Got a crap ton of 7.7s. You put stealths on this little bad boy. Oh, yes. This can be some great low-tier troll-a-lo-la-lo. Just remember, anything below Tier 3 you're not going to be grinding with, so these are strictly, do you want to have some funsies? And yes, this plane is some funsies. If you like to do some low-tier biplaning, it's fun. And so is this. The Whirlaway. Oh, my little lucky lady. This is one thing me and Bohica agree on. This is just a fun little bird. It shouldn't be. It's slow. Its climb rate is crap. But it gets a decent bomb load, and those Vickers in the front can actually kick some serious booty. And more importantly, this thing can turn on a dime. This will give players heart attacks when they just buzz by you thinking that you're not going to be able to turn around and get them, and then you just suddenly whip that sucker around and start pinging them right in the behind. It's fun. This is a fun little bird. I don't care what anybody says. This one is fun. Oh, back in the day, I used to love trolling with this thing. Back when it was, I think, 1.7. Now, it all depends on the matchmaker. If you get a 2.0, 2.3 match, it's all fun and games. You get a 3.0 against the Germans on Norway, you're a Trisket. Yeah. Good for ground forces, though. If you want something to do you some bombing, oh, yeah. She can definitely drop some bombs, and she's got a little bit of dock on her. So, not bad for that at all. If you want, but honestly, I would probably skip it simply because nowadays they got a better bomber in the freaking premiums line. You know, this one right here. Yes. Look at how many bombs this baby gets. And it gets rockets on top of that, plus 1,000 rounds of MG, plus another 2,500 round MG in the turrets. Yeah, and this thing turns surprisingly good. This thing handles more like a heavy fighter than it does a bomber. I mean, you can't dive with it like you can with something like a B-7A2, but you can definitely get some turning. And you see that ball turret? It is so easy to snipe players with that thing. I have had some serious fun in this thing. More fun than a 2.0 BR should be allowed. Yeah, if you want something to just take out and be a troll-la-lo-la-lo, yeah, I would rather have this over the Havoc personally. It's just more fun to fly. It really is. Unlike this. I noticed I gave it an extra 20 rounds of 50 cal. It ain't gonna help. This thing handles like a bus. I mean, it is sluggish. Yeah, it's decent for bombing or for torp runs, but that's pretty much it. You're not going to be having much heavy fighter fun with this sucker. Not with only 600 rounds and not at the BR it's at. No. This is not fun. This is pain and suffering. That is what this is. This is welcome to the hurt. So yeah, this would definitely be a skip. This, on the other hand, is pure joy. The boomerangs. There's two in the game, both premiums, but honestly there ain't really any difference between the Mark 1 and the Mark 2 except for the paint on the tail. I got both just because I love these things so much. I mean, 4,000 rounds of 7.7 plus 120 rounds of cannon. Yeah, and this thing turns like a zero. This is a great little turn fighter. You can troll-la-lo-la-lo with this thing and have such a good time. I don't know how many 109s I've made smack into the ground. It's fun. This is not. This is the Brit Stang. Only get 500 rounds and they're Mark II Spark Spanos. Yeah, Mark II Spark Spanos. No. This, not at 3.7. No. It will spark too many times on you. You're not going to be happy. It gets some cool skins, but that's the only positive I can really say about it. The climb rate's not good. It doesn't have the ammo load. It doesn't really handle that hot, honestly. Personally, I would say skip that for this right here. Yes, the Brit Cat. You'll notice it has the same climb rate as the Brit Stang, but gets 2,400 rounds of Freedom Cals. Plus, it can also carry bombs and rockets, which the Brit Stang can't, which means if that last guy runs into space, you can go ahead and make you some extra RP with this baby. Yeah, she can make you some money. Anyone that's seen my Brit cat review knows that I love this thing. This thing is fun. Oh, yes. But if you're wanting a Tier 4 that'll grind all the way to your jets, here you go. The Spitfire F Mark 9C, I believe it's called. Yeah, Griffin Spit with the not clipped wings. That's the important thing. I found out the hard way. Clipped spits equal crap spits. Yeah, that's why you probably won't ever see a video on the Pretender gas. Because that thing's a pretender. It pretends to be a Spitfire. Although personally, for those that don't know, Steam has Darth Plagueis for $25. And the Steam big Christmas sale will be coming up in a little over a month. So, yeah, if you would rather have Darth Plagueis, you could just wait for that. But both of these will kick some booty. Honestly, it's just a preference, but personally, I like the Merlin better than the Griffin simply for the climb rate. Yeah, the Griffin's a little faster, but the frickin' Merlin, 30 meter per second climb rate, which with these small maps, I'd rather have the climb rate than the extra top speed. But strictly, that's your call. Personally, I'd prefer Darth Plagueis, but for what's on sale, yeah, this one will definitely get you through your British jets. Well, be sure to like and share, and I hope to see you up in the clouds, and I hope to see you with part 3 where I'll tackle the Japanese, the Italians, and the French. Have a good one, y'all.